Hello, my name is Terry Bauer. I'm a Canadian citizen and a concerned citizen, born and raised as a Canadian. I do not practice law, I practice justice. The intent of this video is to convey to you as where the legal system has failed in this case. Warning, this video contains graphic language. This is a story that needs to be told. This is about a pedophile that managed to manipulate the police, elude the legal system. Martin Bennett sexually abused his daughters. They were also neglected, abused physically and mentally. Always hungry, filthy, and glazed look always. The police and child services refused to acknowledge the girls' plea for help. Instead, the girls were accused of fabricating the story and threatened by Christine Nolan, the social worker, that if they continued to do so, they would be placed in a juvenile delinquent. The girls contacted Iris Evans, Minister of Child Services, in 2002 in writing and received no response. The girls tried desperately to have their side of the story heard, but Children's Services turned a deaf ear. Again, they were threatened. The extended family, friends, and neighbors tried repeatedly to voice concern about the abuse. Instead, they were reprimanded and victimized. I myself was arrested and charged for criminal harassment. I was not aware that there's a law that you must be kind and gentle with pedophiles. No written signed statement ever taken from any of those who tried to get these girls from harm's way. It is my understanding that there is two sides to a story. Martin had all stakeholders convinced that he was a victim of conspiracy theory contrived by the family, friends, and neighbors. One has to ask, how much manipulative power does this pedophile have over police, and why he was awarded $38,000 from the Victim Impact Service? If you know of a crime, it is your duty to report it. But where? In 1998, the Bennetts moved to Rainier, Alberta, from Penticton, BC. The family consists of the father, Martin, the mother, Valerie, and three daughters, Tara, Kelly, and Angie. All five lived in a camper on the back of a pickup truck. It is alleged that they fled from BC because a lynching posse was after Martin for inappropriate sexual behavior with a neighbor girl. From the camper, they rented a house in Rainier. Martin always favored the oldest daughter above anyone else in the family. The other two girls were always rejected. Martin would have Tara sleep with him in the camper. Valerie did confess to the neighbors that Martin was molesting her daughters. That was reported to the police, and it was disregarded. Kelly and Angie both kept a diary, and in the diary there were signals of molestation. Today, these diaries no longer exist. The police turned them over to the parents. Martin would send his daughters dumpster diving for their meal, while he dined in one of the fast food restaurants. Martin used his daughters as pawns to manipulate the legal system with intimidation tactics, threats of physical abuse, to persuade his daughters to give false statement to the police, claiming that he was innocent of any wrongdoing, and was awarded $38,000 from the Victim Impact Service, facilitated by Constable Sherry Brunel. In August 2002, a search warrant was executed by Constable Sherry Brunel at my office at 328 7th Street East in Brooks, Alberta. In order to obtain a search warrant, you had to meet a high threshold to convince a judge that you have goods for a search. Everything that was confiscated, we have already introduced to the police and requesting them to review the investigation. But they refused. The girls' diary were also confiscated, which no longer exists. None of the material that was confiscated reached the courts. Again, Martin convinced Constable Sherry Brunel that he was a victim of conspiracy. Martin has a friend by the name of Marcel Young. They would go camping for weeks at the Bow City gravel pit. Martin would bring Tara along, and the three of them would partake in drugs and alcohol. Marcel has witnessed Martin sleeping naked with Tara in the camper and has witnessed this on many other occasions. Marcel has since denied any knowledge of this. After fraudulently receiving $38,000 from the Victim Impact Service, Martin decided to move to Saskatchewan. In August 2003, Martin first took the two oldest girls to get them started in school. September 2003, the girls reported the sexual abuse through the school system. A number of sexual offense charges were laid by the Saskatchewan RCMP against Martin and Valerie. On March 21st, 22nd of 2005, a trial was held at the Provincial Building in Brooks. Martin and Valerie Bennett were on trial for horrific sexual abuse of their children, prohibited by Section 153A of the Criminal Code, contrary to Section 171 of the Criminal Code. Valerie did knowingly permit her daughter to be in such premises for the purpose of engaging in sexual activity. There was also physical abuse that was reported to the police in child services in Brooks. Still, there was no response, nor was it mentioned in court. The sexual and physical abuse dates back when they were living in Penticton, BC. In court, evidence illustrated that sexual abuse did take place by both the father and mother. These given testimonies painted a gruesome picture, play by play, of what took place between the parents and their daughter. Throughout the trial, evidence and testimonies of the events clearly demonstrated in details what actually occurred. One witness, Paul, a friend of Martin, testified in details his involvement in the maltreatment, indicating that Martin had his daughter engaging in sexual act with him. He detailed to the courts having sex with the mother and then with the daughter in the same room with Martin present. He went on to say having intercourse and oral sex with both of them. This has occurred on many occasions, either at Paul's residence or at Bennett's. Alcohol played a role in this atrocity. When Valerie was called to testify, she denied witnessing oral sex. But she did say that there was only 3 occasions that Martin had intercourse with the daughter. Then went on to say that Martin was on medication and the prescribed drugs was taken, made him incompetent to get an erection. The Crown did a poor job in presenting its case. The judge made it clear that Martin was guilty, but said, I have to make a decision on what was presented to me. And the Bennetts were exonerated. Again, we approached the authorities to have Martin brought to justice on age of consent, contributing to minors, incest, false allegations, fraud, and pimping. Again, authorities refused to act. We contacted our local politician, MP LeVar Payne, MLA Arnold Dorson, Monty Solberg, MLA Leonard Mitchell, Child and Family Beverly Duke, former Mayor Don Weisbach, Minister Health Forsyth, Mayor Martin Shields, Deputy Mayor Barry Marishita, Councilor Ralph Bander, Councilor Mara Nesbitt. They all refused to help these girls. We also contacted all new replaced staff sergeants. A quote that I received from Canada Family Action is, one of the quickest and effective way to resolve is to contact your MP. LeVar Payne is the MP and I contacted him for help. I received a correspondence stating that this matter has been thoroughly dealt with several times. Then where are the documentation of your finding? Is it not Mr. Payne's position to take it to the police for action? On his campaign trail, he clearly indicated that child abuse was one of his first mandates. I received a correspondence from MLA Arnold Dorson that the documentation had been thoroughly reviewed several times. Mr. Dorson also did not produce any documentation on the matter. We had many meetings with Mayor Martin Shields on this matter, and he also declined to help. We also we are seeking justice and support on this matter. I am open for comment. Help raise awareness by carefully take the time to review this video. This matter needs to be addressed with your local politicians and authority in order to have this pedophile brought to justice. Thank you.